Hi, I'm Eve from Mystic Rainbow Tarot, and thank you for tuning in today. So this is a requested reading about Hailey, Justin, and if Justin still thinks about Selena or feels anything for her. So let's see what we get here. So messages about Justin and Hailey and Selena. But I think actually what I'm going to do is first of all pull some cards about how Hailey feels about Justin, and then how Justin feels about Hailey and Selena. So first of all, please messages about falling out, how Hailey feels about Justin. So how does Hailey Baldwin Bieber feel about her husband Justin Bieber? How does Hailey feel towards Justin? How does Hailey feel about her husband Justin? What does she think of the marriage? What does Hailey feel about things? So I'm going to put 4 cards down about how Hailey feels, and then I'm going to do some more cards about Justin. So I'm going to shuffle again about Justin. So messages please about how Justin Bieber feels about his wife Hailey, and how he feels towards Selena, his ex. So let's give these a good shuffle. So what's going on with Justin's feelings towards his wife and towards Selena Gomez, his ex. So what's happening here? Does Justin think about Selena, and how does he feel about his wife Hailey and his marriage? What's going on there? So I'm just going to put another 4 cards down and see what we get there. So I'm going to put those down, and hopefully these are in view. So see what the first card is. The first card is the Magician. So with this card, Hailey is trying to make positive changes to her relationship with Justin in this marriage. She is literally manifesting a new beginning for them. She's trying to accomplish something that will benefit both of them. She's all about finding the solution to make the relationship work for both of them to be happy. So that's good. So to explain the messages I'm receiving better, Hailey is sort of riding through the ups and downs of their relationship and wants it to be something that will stand the test of time. So she's being very strong, even though sometimes she feels the strain of it. But when it is good, she's listening to her feelings, and she feels like she loves him so much. And as the marriage goes on, she is understanding Justin better. She's trying her hardest to tune herself into him, and she has a lot of dedication to her marriage with Justin. And this relationship is basically marked by endurance. So she's just sticking with it, whatever, at the moment. So let's see what the next card is. The next card is the 2 of Stars. So this card in itself says a lot about Hailey, that she has a dominant personality and is quite a mature person for her age. which has helped their relationship a lot, because it means HAILEY is mature enough to sit down and talk about things. She'd rather talk things through, and also HAILEY is really committed to their relationship, and if she gets bored, she tries ways to spice things up, and she's the one with all the ideas to go and do something fun and interesting. So the messages I'm getting are these two were meant to connect, to go through spiritual growth, which is essential for both of their growth and maturity. And so now, because HAILEY is very good at trying to help Justin with his maturity and growing as a person, you know, she is helping him a lot, and I do feel they were brought together for a reason, and it is for their own sort of evolution as people. And you know, HAILEY is helping Justin to heal as well. So there are things going on at a deeper level in their relationship. So the next card is the Page of Trees. So this is about the way HAILEY sees Justin, and she sees him as very attractive, and she still thinks he's very hot. So that's good to be attracted to your partner still, after I think they've been married maybe nearly 3 years. So, but also she feels like she doesn't want to make any mistakes in this marriage. She wants to do what is socially acceptable or traditional. So like, she wanted to get married rather than live with him, probably because you know, they're connected to the church and marriage is accepted in the church, but living together isn't. So so I think that's why they married rather than lived together first. And she is the one that didn't want to rush into having a baby straight after they got married, and has waited for that so that she could do things she wanted in her career, and people wouldn't sort of accuse them of getting married because they were having a baby, because they got married very fast, didn't they? And some people are suspicious. So HAILEY is very practical by nature and is prepared to put in the work and effort to make this relationship and marriage work. And she's very committed and planning things for the future for them. So she puts a lot into this. So the next card is the 9 of Stars. So it seems like the ball's in Justin's court, so to speak, with this card. HAILEY feels he's very much in control of the destiny of this relationship, the marriage they're in. And you know, I have heard Justin say things like, if you weren't so hot, I would have divorced you a long time ago. So sometimes HAILEY is unsure if he wants to be with her or not, because Justin does confuse her. The other reason they have problems is because Justin hasn't had the opportunity for closure in his relationship with SELENA. Well, it is kind of his fault because he ran off and married HAILEY in a whirlwind. So there was no time to discuss the things that were left unsaid between him and SELENA. And it makes moving on much harder when things are left unsaid. Closure was denied for both SELENA and Justin. So, unfortunately, you know, they've both suffered with this. But the difference is here that SELENA has had time on her own to work on herself and Justin hasn't. So, SELENA has found her own closure, and you know, she realises that the relationship wasn't good for her. And now Selena's got her confidence back and feels better about herself. But, you know, I am getting, Justin still has got feelings for Selena. And yes, he does think about her. Because it takes a long time to get over first love. It does kind of stick with you. And like I say, he hasn't had the closure because he didn't have the time on his own like Selena. So the next card is the turnaround. Hope you can see this card. So with this card, Justin feels he made a large sacrifice to be in this marriage. So I remember he said on an interview that he didn't know if he could be faithful to HAILEY or not. So maybe he's not sure if he can stick to it for years on end. So it could be relating to that, I feel. That was the sacrifice because he used to be a player. And obviously you can't be doing that when you're married. So this also relates to things have been rocky at times between Justin and HAILEY, and they have had their ups and downs. Where they have a bad patch, it kind of goes in a cycle, and then they have lots of arguments, and then they make up and think things are good for a while, and this cycle seems to keep repeating itself. So it's like on again, off again, a bit like a roller coaster. And because of this, Justin is never really clear whether they want the same things. So Justin needs to be fair and discuss any issues he has, so that HAILEY can kind of better understand him. Because if Justin had his way, he would want her to give up her career and spend even more time with him. He seems to want or need attention a lot of the time. But I don't think he's sort of said to her to do that. But it's something he'd quite like. So I really think that they need to make some dramatic changes in this marriage. Because it's not great to be in a roller coaster thing that's so up and down. Arguments, then make up. Things are right for a little while, then arguments again. That's a lot of stress. But I do feel, you know, that someone asked if they're going to divorce. I don't think it's going to be yet. It's going to go on for a while longer because, you know, HAILEY's really doing her best and wants this to work and is sticking it out regardless of all this going on. Because she's putting up with things basically like Selena did when she was younger. But as Selena got older, she learned to have boundaries and like say to herself, no, this is not on. And she'd break up with Justin till he behaved better. But HAILEY's just sticking with it all. Also, from Justin's point of view, he feels that HAILEY forgives him for everything. So the thing is, she isn't setting any boundaries, because you can forgive someone if they're going to change that behaviour. I mean, it's okay for Justin to say sorry, but she needs to then say, well, you can't be doing that again. I'm not putting up with that. This sort of thing. And if she laid some boundaries down for herself, things are going to be better between them. There's going to be less arguments and things. And I feel like she's the one buying him presents. And she's got to be less of a yes girl to his whims. She needs to start standing up to him. I just think it would be better for their relationship. The other problem I'm getting here is he really misses Selena. So that's an issue here too. And I do feel he should have waited and had time like Selena before he just rushed into a marriage, so that he could get closure and move on better. Because he's taken all his issues and non-closure about the past with Selena into his marriage, because he didn't get that closure. He didn't give himself time to. So that's not great for him and HAILEY. But he doesn't sort of discuss these things about Selena with HAILEY, because obviously she doesn't want to hear about his ex. So he's keeping some secrets. And yeah, he does think about the past with Selena. And the problem is, he does suffer with Justin suffers with his emotions, and he does have like temper tantrums, because he's got issues from the past. He's got issues from his childhood. He's just got unresolved issues from fame hitting him really early. He needs to work through some issues. So he brings these things into their relationship, which is not the greatest thing. So the next card is the Nine of Angels. Which suggests that Justin is not very happy at the moment either, and is suffering with his anxiety. The thing is, the messages I'm getting is he's still feeling remorse and guilt, and maybe some regret relating to his past relationship with Selena. And this all boils down to him not having enough time to work through his issues about that, and, you know, get the closure that he so needed, you know, with his past relationship with Selena. I think he honestly would like to be able to go back in time and change the way he did things. You know, the thing is, him dwelling on this won't change what happened. You can't go back to the past. But he does need to find a way to heal the past and learn from it. Once he does that, his future will open up and he will be a lot happier. Because I do feel Justin holds on to the past, and he holds on to a lot of things from when he was little, because he's very emotional, and things from the past affect him, and they still come up now. You know, whereas someone else they might not affect. The thing is, he's a Pisces star sign, and literally not everything, but an awful lot of things get to a Pisces person that wouldn't even get to anybody else, that wouldn't be a big deal for anybody else. They're so emotional. So let's see what the next card is. It's the Two of Angels. So this card relates to Justin is afraid of showing his true feelings and is often closed off. It may be that they've been arguing frequently lately. I think there's an important relationship decision that they can't agree on here. So they've called a truce for now. Because they married so quickly, they didn't have time to discuss whether they both wanted the same things from their marriage. And that's the reason, you know, people date for a couple of years to find out these things. But they didn't do that. So they've been getting to know each other and find out these things since they've been married in the last few years. They've kind of done it the reverse way round. What I'm getting is Justin wants children a lot sooner than HAILEY. If he'd had his way, they'd have a baby by now. because he wants to have a family. He wants that family unit that he didn't have as a child. He feels he missed out on all this when he was growing up. And Justin also still wants to have Selena in his life, believe it or not. And he should have found out before he married HAILEY that that's not on to keep in contact with an ex, really. I mean, even as friendship, because you know, Justin and Selena were first loves, and HAILEY doesn't think she could ever allow that sort of friendship because of what they had together. And to be honest, most wives wouldn't want that either. You know, their husbands keeping in contact with their first love, their big love. So that's another place for argument here. So I feel that Justin does want something with Selena still. Even if it's just a friendship, he would like that. He just wants her in his life. But I can't see that happening at the moment. And I can't see HAILEY agreeing to that. So that's probably something else they argue about. So I really think Justin needs to find his own balance and tune out to anything that's getting to him, you know, from his past. And then he could listen to his own wisdom. And then he would know what is right for him. So the next card is the Knight of Trees. I feel like this card relates to the stability Justin was looking for when he married HAILEY. He likes to feel secure, and you know, he likes company, and he gets a lot of support from HAILEY. So I think he saw in HAILEY someone who has some drive towards career goals, and she's quite a driven person. And I think that he's very committed to his career, so she helped him with that. And I know she helped him with his comeback. He wanted to do it, but she helped him with his anxiety and to get himself back on his feet, on track to do that. So she's been good for him like that. But also, because they're so committed to their careers, they have been having a lot less time to focus on their marriage. So that's always a thing. If you haven't got time, so much time as you want for each other, that's not good for a relationship, actually. So I think they certainly need to make more time for each other. That's certainly something that's going to help them out a lot. So I'm just going to take my oracle cards and see if there's a message for Justin and HAILEY. So let's give these a quick shuffle. Please send us a message for Justin and HAILEY's marriage. Message for Justin and HAILEY's marriage. And I think I'm just going to take one card here. So we have the play card. That's a nice colourful card. So I feel this is about they need to take a break from their busy working lives and have some fun together. So this is about rest and play and making each other laugh again, so that they can switch off their minds from work, social media and everything else, and recapture that time when they were going out together and try to find that honeymoon period again. So their best bet is to do some things they both love together. Even like go on a vacation together. That would be really good for them. But it's just about them sort of lighting up again and bringing the spark back and the fun into their relationship. So I think that's pretty good advice for them. So that's the end of the reading. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and sending you love and light, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.